love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't be scared. Just level up. Don't be scared. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just level up. Don't be scared.
আমার ফোনে ফোনটা দেন বলে জেল দিয়ে দিব ফোনটা দেন আমরা ফোনটা না ঠিক আছে আমি স্যার কথা বলবো ঠিক আছে আমরা ড্রেজার নিয়ে যাব এখন স্যার কথা বলবো এই আমার ইয়া কোথায় আমি ব্যবস্থা করতে দিতেছি সব ব্যবস্থা করতে স্যার
So basically we are here for this illegal sand excavation and it's part of the mobile code. The mobile code that the quasi judicial system that we carry out, the executive magistrate. Being an executive magistrate, I got complaint from the people and also I have higher officials ordered to carry out a mobile code drive against this illegal landfills.
What basically they are doing here?
They are actually excavating sands.
Okay.
And
Illegal.
which is it's very environmentally hazardous. So that's why it's under the Mobile Code Act. This is illegal. You cannot. And there are also like locality over there, so you cannot excavate sand just beside the locality. Right, and you need a prior permission from the authority.
Exactly.
And after the permission, the concerned people, they will visit the site. They will give a no objection certificate, because if we excavate sand from here, there won't be any problem for the locality and the environment. So you can actually dredge the sand. But other than that, you cannot. It's strictly prohibited. So that's why we are actually conduct this drive, and we are actually seizing this machine. The dredger machine.
What are the basic homework you need to follow up when bringing up this machine? Any raid, if we can say.
Yeah, this kind of raid. This kind of raid.
India, like India, we basically say season.
Yeah, these are season.
Season.
So I'll seize this and I'll put up an auction with this.
Okay.
Right. So if the concerned authority permits me, I'll talk to the higher officials, and then I will actually make an auction and I will actually bid this.
Okay, sell this one.
Yeah, I'll sell this one.
Do they have any right to like again come up like to leave this thing? There is logically any right?
Obviously, they don't have any kind of right.
Yeah.
But you know the socio-economic scenario and the political scenario, so they will obviously come to my office. They will actually ask for the things, but I don't have anything to do, because this is the evidence.
Yes.
I came here for a court
Yeah.
under the Mobile Code Act, and I found the evidence. So that's why I have nothing to do except seizing the things. So that's what I'm doing right now.
if I want to ask, like we ask this question to the bureaucrats in India, like, you know, it's people who are looking at this figure, it feels like very easy, and there's, you know, he's very confident officer standing here and doing the things, but in reality, if you saw, it's sometimes challenging, because after the scenarios goes on, there will be some pressures.
Not
and
sometimes. All the time it's challenging.
I mean to say, like,
I know the steps of repercussion that I would have to face after this. I won't say I'm ready for that, but I'll just let it go and, you know, take the pressure whenever it comes, and then I'll do accordingly.
But how was it like if we start about your initial days, a young kid, and coming into bureaucracy, you know, thinking up of something, and you know, to, you know, bureaucracy is always, I feel like it's a glamorized profession, but this reality has never been showed. Was it a challenge in your initial days?
Yeah, it was a pretty much challenge, because I would say it's kind of a fascination for me before I joined the service. But after joining the service, it's more of like a practicality. The reality hits hard. You can't actually do the thing that you dreamt of.
Yeah.
But you can actually do something for the people, but not everything for the people. But we are actually trying to do almost everything for the people. But you know, the constant, I mean, there is the idea of satisfaction when you actually can do a thing for the for the person, for the mass people, and for the country. For example, this. So he keeps on excavating this land, it will actually, you know, make the locality deserted.
Yeah,
you already see that the lands are already done. These are all like local land, right? Almost this has been eroded.
They will fall down.
Yeah, they will fall down eventually. So I'm actually doing a thing. So it's kind of you know, putting down a pressure on the powerful people to give them a message that you cannot do anything unsanctioned. Like you have to have a permission. You cannot do anything unnoticed. So that's how. So let's move.
Yeah.
We are just hopeful, like one day things will change.
Okay.
It's changing actually, because I joined in civil service. It's been 6 years, so I have seen a whole lot of, you know, dimension changing decision in my tenure. So which were kind of unthinkable even 10 years back. So, but the change is slow. But the positive thing is the change is happening. That's the thing.
Do you face any difference in the mentality? Like, you know, sometimes people of our father's age and we, like, of our age, how is it in bureaucracy, like the young age? Do you need to fight with that rebel mentality all the time?
We have only one essential opponent, and that's the system itself. The part of the system we are, that's the essential opponent of our, you know, activities. So we don't have to fight with other people. We have to fight with ourselves, basically, the system and everything, right? So it's kind of, you know, we regard less of what others are saying, because we are so much occupied with our people. We are so much occupied our red tapeism and bureaucratic indecisions and confusions. So, you know, the colonial bureaucratic confusions that we have been carrying through. So we don't need actually any other, you know, opinion or anything, because we don't have anything to do with them. We have to do with the system itself.
There's one thing I want to mention, like,
Yes.
it's the month of Ramzan we are
Yeah,
shooting.
yes.
Many people might know because it comes late.
Right.
Rosa going on.
Yeah, the Rosa is, so we are fasting.
You're fasting, and
I'm
then
kind of tired.
It's summer, typical summer. Like we are sweating literally.
Exactly.
So
And all the people who actually worked in this, you know, in this mobile court, they are also fasting, and they're
Exactly.
sweating like hell.
You thought about this before coming into bureaucracy?
Yeah, I saw my father.
Yeah.
I saw my father. He was actually doing the same thing. Back then, he doesn't even have the car that I have
Why?
right now, because in that time we don't have any kind of resources back then. So these are the cars that we got back in 2016.
Okay, recently.
Only recently we got this. So we didn't have any car earlier. We used to travel by rickshaw, or we used to I mean, we will.
That's
we
too
means-
pathetic.
Yeah, we mean the officials in our position. So we had motorbikes,
Okay.
50cc motorbikes back then in 1980s. So it was kind of more challenging for them to conduct a raid or mobile court.
So much learning, है ना, from a different. But somewhere I feel like this thing, raids, C's and C's are the same what I saw in India.
Yeah.
It's similarly
It's the
going,
same thing. It's the
same thing going on here also. That's also like for maximum point of time you need to go through this. Like how, is there any particular time you need to?
No particular time. It's up to my decision whether or when I'm to carry out a drive. I can go every day, go out every day, or naturally, if I find a particular area or a particular shop, I don't go there within next 2 months because that's a warning for them. If I actually find them 1 lakh or 50,000 taka, so I'll just keep myself aloof from them for like next 2 months.
Okay.
So after 2 months, if I go there and see the same illegal deeds are happening, so I don't go for fine. I simply jail them. So jail is the second step.
Okay. Like, you know, many times we see bureaucrats, like those who come from a family, their families are not bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Local layman people,
Yeah,
then he
exactly.
became a bureaucrat.
Bureaucrat.
If I ask about yours, your father was a bureaucrat. So, what was your motivation to come into this thing?
My father was a bureaucrat. My younger aunt is a bureaucrat. She's a deputy secretary of the government. Actually, my motivation was I actually grew up seeing my dad working for the government in the rural land, remotest part of the country. Comparing to him, I'm actually working in an urban situation. He was posted in a more remote place,
Okay.
in an island called Shondip in Chittagong.
Okay.
So he was in Bhola, he was in Jhalakati. So these are the farthest districts from the capital. So compared to him, I'm kind of in a very privileged situation. But the one thing that motivated me is my father's acceptance in the society.
Acha.
As a bureaucrat,
Recognition.
he was and he is being accepted in a very polite and reverent manner. People revered him like anything. So the honor, the respect, it was actually a driving force for me to pursue this career. এখানে আছে না একটা? ঠিক আছে।
Band.
I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad.
Technically it's a very powerful tool. You just saw that, right? And we have to use it in our judicious mind.
Acha.
So if I jail them, the people who are working there, they're very impoverished and poor. So there won't be any outcome if I jail them. I can jail them, I could have jailed them. But rather than that, making them, the sole defaulter, I actually asked for the owner of the sawmill.
Yeah.
And I actually find him.
So they were also the illegal.
Exactly.
No
They don't have
paper-
any
no
license.
papers.
And I warned them and I fined them. After the fine, I warned them, like if I don't get your license within next 2 months, it will be shut off and you will be jailed. So that's a warning.
So basic warning so that you can also do
Right,
the paperwork.
right, exactly.
So like why these people come up with this illegal occupations? Like what is the
No, the
poverty level?
occupations are legal,
Okay.
but the process, they didn't maintain the process.
Acha.
They can actually apply for the certificate and the license. The first one that we said, the first, the sawmill, it was kind of very smooth.
Yeah.
Their licenses are up to date and everything. So if he could do that, why didn't he? Because that means he showed a level of negligence. So that's why I needed to find him.
So this is like your iftar time.
Yes.
Like I have not done anything. Somebody with like this thing. This is a different religion, culture. I'm also seeing for the first time. Like throughout day you are fasting and now coming home. Like is there anything special that you need after coming home?
It's a whole month of fasting, the Ramadan. So it's kind of a normal thing for us. So we don't need any kind of special arrangement or anything. Whatever it's in the house, we just manage some food. Basically, we have these lentils over here, and then some fried. These are like the chops that we say, aloo chop.
You can tell the
potato
Bengali
chop.
name also.
Exactly, that's called aloo chop, and this is
Made
the
of potato.
Yeah, potato. So and this is like eggplant.
Okay.
Beguni boli. It's a beguni, it's eggplant, fried eggplant.
Okay.
So you can try this. It's
Yeah,
a good thing. And then obviously you know this. This is one of my
Jalebi.
favorite, jalebi. And I like the thin jalebi, not the,
There's one
it's
another
like
one.
thick crust jalebi.
Thick
I don't like that. So it's kind of my favorite. So yes, it's a long day, and we have been in a very on the move and on the go. It was kind of a rush and go. I really enjoyed the day.
Tell me something, how you're managing your personal and professional life right now.
It's
You're a
kind of-
father, a new
yes,
father.
It's a very tough, and I will say the sole credit goes to my wife. She's maintaining it very well, and she's actually giving me space for my job. Though sometimes we have tiff over it, like why are you being so late? I really needed you at this hour, but you are not maintaining it. And she said your office hour is from 9 to 5 p.m. But we don't have any office hour. Like 24/7, we are on the run. 24/7, we are on the office basically. If not physically, mentally, we are with the office. So this is kind of a tough thing to maintain personal and professional life. And to be honest, it's a critical one. And we actually we go through some kind of crisis. For example, Friday and Saturday we have holiday. So we have last week we planned something on Saturday, like my
Family.
friend, yes, my friends,
Okay,
my
okay.
friends would come. Everything was set. There will be a iftar party.
Acha.
They will join us in the iftar. And suddenly something came up. I had to cancel the plan, and I had to be in the Arai Hazar. at my,
your
work-
district.
Exactly, in my district, in my Upojila. So I had to. So my friends also know this. So whenever I confirm something like Friday or Saturday, are you free? I'll say yes, I'm free, unless ... So and they get it. They say, okay, fine, no worries. If you are free, you can join. If you cannot make it, we know you have a hectic job. We know we have a scheduled job 24/7. So they're okay with it. My wife is also okay with it. But sometimes you cannot be okay every time. I mean, you cannot give.
You feel guilty?
Exactly, I feel guilty. I feel very, very guilty. Not giving enough time to my child, not giving enough time to my family, and not giving enough time to my father and mother. But this job is actually taking up most
But
of
I think
my
your
time.
father knows this very well.
Yeah,
because-
my father knows this, and my father actually, I saw my father. I grew up seeing my father working his day off and everything, and more importantly, his posting was in out of Dhaka, as we discussed earlier. My father's workstation was in Rajshahi, Barishal, Jalokati. So my mother was actually rearing us here in Dhaka because our school was in Dhaka. So that's why my mother used to be with us. And it's a kind of long distance relationship between my father and my mother. So my mother actually knows this very well.
I want to ask you few realistic questions. Rather, I would say it's a tips for the youth. You might be like you're older than me. How many? Like 3-4 years?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. So you are like bade bhaiya to me. Okay, who gives the guidance? What are the main challenges when somebody is married and especially into this profession? What will be your tip like to handle that part of marriage? Like balancing personal and professional life. You have explained this thing very
Yes,
beautifully.
yes.
But what are the changes you see? Once you are not married, you was a bachelor. Now you are married, but at the same point of time, you are into this profession. Now, newly father, how things are getting more involved. Do you feel that like throughout the day we shot that your mobile code, there was tension, pressure, work-related
Yes,
things?
yes.
Is it a challenge for a married guy to not bring that thing into the house?
It's obviously a challenge. You know what? Those who want to pursue his or her career in civil service, especially in admin service or police service, they should have talked about this service beforehand with their partner.
Okay.
They should have let him or her know, like, this is the service, I have to do this and that, and I will get minimum amount of time for my family, and I will be on the rush. I'm not in a mood to text you all the time because,
Like too much romance is not
exactly,
happening.
too much romance is not happening, it's not going to happen. So you were with me whole day.
Yes, yes.
You noticed that I didn't get a single call from my wife.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that she didn't need me. She
Yeah.
obviously needed me in some
She
way
made
or
her
other.
way.
Exactly, she managed it. So this is the first challenge. Like you have to, my advice will be for the future bureaucrats or the future civil servants, like this is a very tiring job, very hectic job. You have to have a pact with your partner before you decide to pursue your career here. So একদম খোলাখুলি বলতে হবে, like you have to be very open about it, like I'm this and that, I will have 24/7 hectic job. On your anniversary, on your birthday, there will be a chance that I might not be present in time or might not be present at all. So you have to, you know.
Do you get scoldings?
Yeah, obviously I get scoldings and I get, so we have this thing, whenever once she asked me like, how long will you going to take to come home?
Achha.
And I said,
Any special day?
not in a special day, but I mean something about my child, I guess.
Okay,
So
okay.
she wanted me to be at home earlier, and I said that it will be dawn, like
After
এখন- yeah, exactly. It will be dawn. I'll come around 5 a.m. in the morning. So, and she became very furious. She said, "What do you do till 5 a.m. in the office?" And then I
Because
said,
layman concept is that sarkari naukri,
Exactly.
you don't need to work.
Exactly. In this, the common perception is, oh, it's a sarkari nakri. It's a government job.
Uh-huh.
Do you go to office? That's the second question. Do you go to?
Exactly.
I feel like, oh, you have to bash them out. So my wife's, I say that I had, yeah, it will take like 5 a.m. in the morning if to return. So she gets very mad and she said, what do you do till 5 a.m. in the office? And I said, no, it's like
5 p.m.
I wanted to say I will be late, but in order to make a metaphor, I said that 5 a.m. in the morning. And she said, who says 5 a.m. in the morning in a metaphorical sense? I thought it to be real. So that's a crisis that we have to handle every now and then.
Tell me something about bureaucracy in Bangladesh. Like, it's been now going to be 2 years. I have been, doing podcast in Indian bureaucracy. This is the first time when you are our international guest. What are the things government are focusing, and what the new things that are concerned of bureaucrats here? Administration aspects, or what are the things?
Okay. The main concern of bureaucracy is that you have to maintain a tripartite relationship with judiciary, the legislative, and the executive. These are the three part of a state. The judiciary, who actually give verdict, the court, the judicial service, the judges and everything, everyone, and then the legislative, who make law,
Laws are.
the MLA, the MPs, and then executive. We are the executive. We implement the agenda. So, for the bureaucracy thing, you have to maintain a balance between these sectors. Like you have to be very critical, very thoughtful while you are interacting with the politicians. At the end of the day, they are the person who actually runs the country, right? You have to be very critical about maintaining your relation with the Chamber of Commerce, the other organs, the judiciary. So the challenge is to maintain. The challenge is to be the tactful and to,
Hero of the grey world.
yeah, it's kind of like this hero of the grey world that we talked earlier. Yes, you're right.
Are you satisfied? Like whatever you thought of coming into bureaucracy, and is it happening? How like if I ask you, how is your life right now?
It's
Like-
pretty good, but job satisfaction is a myth.
No, I mean to say, like, in our family, parents think like if you get a government job, my son is settled. Do you feel, are you settled? Or do you feel, are you still coping up with things, you're still struggling to be settled? Or like that saturate of pant is came? How
That's
is
a
your
very
life?
good question. It's been like 6 years, almost 6 years in the service. Sorry, 5 years. Almost 5 years in the service. I still at times feel like I'm kind of misfit here because all the policies, all the intricacies and technicalities, I sometimes fail to, satiate the need of the service at times. But overall, I'm kind of good, alhamdulillah. I'm happy with this. Or it gets normalized in these 5 years. So I have no other way to be sad. So I have no other way other than to be happy.
Happy.
So that's why I'm kind of happy. But the thing is, you can actually do a lot of things for the people. So even if you like 90% of the time you are sad, the rest 10% of or the rest 2 to 5%, when you are actually working for the people, it gives you the thriving force to to overcome the rest 90% of the sadness that actually encircles your job.
How was your childhood days? Like born and brought up, where it started?
I was born in Cox's Bazar.
This was a childhood dream of becoming a bureaucrat or
No,
family
no,
pressure?
no, no, it's a family
Oh,
pressure.
tell me that, please
Yeah,
tell me.
exactly. It's a family pressure. It's a family because I have been a faculty member. I have been in teaching for like more than 4 years. I was enjoying classroom full of people,
You were professor.
assistant professor, senior lecturer. I was a lecturer. So, classroom full of people looking at you. You kind of feel yourself like a celebrity in their eyes, and I see a bunch of people with dreams. Whatever I say, it becomes the gospel, right? Whatever I say becomes the hadith, right? It's kind of like this. Sorry for saying that, but yes. So I was in a very good situation while I was in teaching, and then my father happened, and then he was the career bureaucrat. He is an additional secretary to the government, retired. He really wanted me to be in the service because I guess deep down inside I also wanted to be in the service because there is a fine thing. When my father retired, I entered the civil service and worked with my father for 3 years. My father was also in the service.
Okay.
Yes, so I had that privilege. I had that opportunity. So I joined the service. My father was in the service, running additional secretary, and I was probation assistant commissioner in Narsingi district. So my father, kind of one day, he regretted, like once I'm retired, there won't be anyone to call me even for a help. Right? When I was not in the service, when I was a faculty member. So, and he said, I really like the idea people call me for a help because I really like to help people. What happened if I get retired and no one calls me? So he has this existential crisis over there. It hit me hard.
Okay.
So it hit me hard, and I kind of thought of, I have age, like we have age limit for entering civil service, 30 years. I said to myself, I have age, so why not trying a bit? At least I can make him happy. Even if I fail, I can actually console myself saying that I tried. So from that notion, from that perception, I tried for the civil service, and here I am, working my A off all the day, not getting any call from home. And I'm happy.
But there are two perspectives. Some people think that your father was in bureaucracy, so you got all the cheesecake in your hand. But was it that,
Not
or
really.
is it a challenge to prove yourself because
Not
your
really.
father was a son?
I had this pressure. People used to think, like he's the son of a bureaucrat, he will get everything easily. He doesn't. But I proved myself. I actually proved in various ways. I worked in Narsingi district. I worked with the top-notch officials, personal secretary to the divisional commissioner twice, right? 2 commissioners, divisional commissioners was my senior boss, reporting boss. I was the personal secretary to them.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a thing that you cannot be the personal secretary to the renowned divisional commissioners because you have to go through
Exactly.
filtering and go through everything. So I proved my worth, I guess. And then again, there's a kind of saying, like he's the son of a bureaucrat, he will get everything easily. Right? But I actually, disproved that. I clinched a scholarship. I did my MSc from one of the best schools in the world, London School of Economics. I did my MSc there with the government scholarship. I came back and I'm still in the service and I am kind of doing good, I think. Not being very confident,
Amazing.
but so I think I'm kind of doing good, and my father doesn't have to hear the thing, oh, your son actually getting the cheesecake because you were in the service. No, he's not getting the thing. I made that sure. I'm kind of a self-made person in this service.
That's something to learn. I was going to come to this question. You said that beforehand that you were studied from London.
Yes.
There's always a question comes, especially who goes out of the country, they got settled into that country. Why you left there and struggling with this thing?
It's a very good question. First of all, one thing I believe, like you shouldn't forget your root. So that's actually my father's teaching. He said that no matter where you go, no matter whatever you do not disregard your root. So
That thought ever came in mind that no, yeah, let's get settled in London. Why to go there?
Not yet.
Never?
Not yet. Never. Till today. So it never gets in my mind like I need to leave the country and settle abroad. No, because I'm quite pretty well here. And another thing is, people are looking at me with inspiration, I can actually provide at least a very small amount of people with hope and dream. Even if it's not a huge amount of, or like a mass people, it's like 2 to 3 people at least, or like 10 to 12 people who are actually looking at me and saying, officers like you will actually take Bangladesh to a better ground. So whenever I hear this, it's kind of a very what should I say? I'm romanticizing the thing. It's not reality. Reality is very hard, but I think I have the right to romanticize because this job actually gave me a lot of things. The respect, the honor, the food that I'm eating right now with respect. My service actually gave this. So till now, I never felt I have to leave this job and settle abroad. Because I went to London, I went to Europe, the other cities in Europe. I saw their lifestyle, obviously, very charming, very secure, and very developed. But here, we have this idea of building a nation.
Exactly.
The idea of being respected by the people, the idea of serving the people and seeing the smile on their face when you actually do something good for them, even if it's for a very small amount of people. So the satisfaction, the content, the urge to see smile on mass people's face, still now it's something else.
What do you know about our bureaucracy? Like in India, IAS, IPS, IAS?
Yeah, I studied a little about it. I know like there are two systems. One is central administration system, central bureaucracy, and then
State.
Provincial or state bureaucracy. IAS officers, they are the elite classes of civil servants, and then IPS, IRS, forest service, and the foreign service. And in fact, in one of my training, I met one of the IAS officials.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I found it very fascinating, and they are very much knowledgeable, and it actually, I was very much fascinated about it. And they read a lot. I heard that, and also the person I met, the IAS official I met, he's also a very well-read person.
He's from which cadre? Do you remember? Like,
administration cadre.
No. Like which state where he's posted now?
Oh, he was posted in Guwahati.
Guwahati, okay, Assam.
Exactly, Assam.
Okay,
He was
okay.
posted. Basically, he was invited by my father when my father was in commerce ministry.
Okay.
My father was posted in Guwahati for like 6 months because there was a trade fair going on.
Okay.
And back in 2012, I guess, 2012. So my father actually invited him. So yeah, I met him, and then I got to know about a lot of things in the IAS service, my Indian civil service.
Oh, that's amazing. Like, I have learned so much things today from you. There are few things I have experienced while spending the day with you. I want to share.
Okay.
I also want your feedback from our side.
Okay.
That is like you are somebody who can manipulate the word in an amazing way. Not manipulate in that sense because then I
Convince.
I understand because you are a professor.
Yes.
You have taught so many people. What I felt is what to say to whom.
Exactly.
You know that game. Your throwing skills is amazing. A silent personality.
I'm not that silent, by the way. I'm very
Yeah.
extrovert. But yeah, when in the office, I maintain that.
Maintain that,
Right.
not that, in India we call that dabang style.
Yeah.
Not every time that dabang style. When you need to be strict, you are being strict. Today I saw, in your mobile code, when you need to keep the decent thing, you are doing it. When they're in office, many, I think poverty people came to you, you are very silent to them.
My door is always open because we have to keep it open.
Yeah.
Any kind
I
of
asked the
people.
question to you,
Exactly.
like, why is your door open?
Open,
Like, actually, we don't find these things, doors open. So
Right.
that's what I learned from you. And somebody is, who is always struggling to know more, meet people, know their thing. That's what I feel from. If you have any feedback, please share with us.
No, it was actually an amazing journey with you people, together. I really like the way you actually made it easier for me to conduct my court. Right. So I was, at the very beginning, I thought, will I be nervous because there will be a constant camera? And then you made it so easier. I really love that. And Bhavya, he's an amazing guy.
The hero behind the lens.
The hero behind the lens. Bhavya. Meet Bhavya, the hero behind the lens.
Iski photo chipka dunga.
Exactly, yes. He's a very silent guy. But yeah, I really like him. And you actually, because we actually share the same culture,
Exactly.
so we didn't have that kind of struggle to cope up with the situation.
Exactly.
Because the village, the roads, everything, you saw it in India, every province, in everywhere.
Same.
So actually we are divided by nation or divided by a demarcation line, but mentally and culturally I think we are very much akin to each other.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's not take much of your time. And thank you for this amazing iftar party. People will think, like, why we are not having the food. Abhi,
We are
like,
having
let the camera get close. We'll start our food.